We've all been there. You're standing in a museum, staring at a painting, and all you can think is, I don't get it. To me, knowing the story behind an artwork is a huge part of knowing how to look at it. I'm Amanda, the host of the Art of History podcast, where we view history through the lens of some really great works of art. Each episode, we dive deep into the bigger picture behind some familiar and maybe not so familiar pieces. Check out Art of History now wherever you get your podcasts.
Culture kids, welcome to the show. We are a family podcast dedicated to empowering a generation of kind and empathetic creators and citizens of the world. Today is a very special episode for our co-host Asher because we're going to be covering a topic that Asher is very excited about, and that's Pokémon.
Hello, my name is Asher and I'm your host along with my mom, Kristen. We have Miss Veronica Taylor and Miss Rena Taylor. We're going to talk about Pokemon and our favorite characters.
That's right. Miss Veronica was the original voice of Ash Ketchum, and Miss Rena is a talented artist, painter, and podcaster. And together, just like us, they are a mom and daughter duo that travels all over the world to promote their work. We're going to learn about what it's like to be a voiceover artist for an iconic character like Ash Ketchum, and of course, talk about our favorite Pokemon characters.
But before we meet our guests, we want to say thank you to our special listeners.
We want to say a special thank you to Addie Lee, who left us a 5-star review. Addie said, "Best podcast ever. I love your podcast. I like how you talk about many different cultures and you have people related to the topic. I listen to it all the time, and my favorite episode is the dim sum episode because I'm Cantonese, but I have a hard time finding information about my culture. So listening to your podcast helps me understand other people's culture, which helps me be more empathetic. This is my favorite podcast of 10 podcasts that I listen to." Wow, thank you so much, Addie.
Thank you for your 5-star review.
And we also want to say thank you to A&A Family. Great way to learn about different cultures, traditions, and locations. My 7-year-old daughter and I love listening to this on long drives. It's become our go-to podcast for co-listening and a great conversation starter for us. We love Culture Kids. Thank you so much for your support. And if you haven't done so already, please leave us a 5-star review so that more families around the world can discover our show.
I can't wait to meet our guests. I think of Pokemon a lot and love collecting their cards. Yeah!
Yes, you do. So in our show, we learn about different cultures around the world, but what we do sometimes also focus on is pop culture, which is why we have our guest today. Asher, do you know what pop culture is?
Not soda pop that you drink, but pop culture is like popular culture.
Yep, so pop culture is something that lots of people are into at the same time. It includes stuff like the latest movies, music, TV shows, fashion trends, and of course, Pokemon.
Oh yeah, baby!
And the cool part is that every country or city has their own pop culture.
Yes, in America right now, Taylor Swift and Pokemon are popular. But Pokemon is from Japan.
And in Japan, Pokemon holds a great cultural importance that not only changed how children play video games, but also became a symbol of childhood and community bonding. Over the years, Pokemon has become a global sensation and an important part of not just Japan's pop culture, but many countries around the world.
Yes, it's not just video games or TV or movies, it's board games, books, and everything else.
Well, I know you can't wait any longer, so let's meet our guests, Miss Veronica and Miss Rena, and of course, Ash Ketchum. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Asher. Hey, Kristen.
And, hey, Culture Kids. This is Ash Ketchum. Awesome to be on your show.
We are so excited to have you here. I am the biggest Pokemon fan. This is so cool. Ash, you're the best.
Well, you know, when you're a Pokemon trainer and you're on, let's say on a break, I'm at my mom's house, so it's pretty cool that I took a trip over to your mom's house, Asher.
But we do have to tell our listeners that this is Miss Veronica's voice, and she's acting as Ash Ketchum.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. I should have said it that way.
Yes, thanks for the clarification. So Miss Veronica Taylor was the voice of Ash Ketchum from the first season, Pokémon Indigo League, all the way through the 8th season, Pokémon Advanced Battle.
And that was the Pokemon TV show. So could you tell us more about yourself?
Well, I'm Veronica Taylor.
And I'm Rena Taylor. I'm an artist and Veronica's daughter.
And I'm an actor. And we have a podcast together, which is called
The Trainer's Guide.
And it's a rewatch podcast of the first season of Pokémon, where I played Ash, Ash's mom, and some other characters.
And we talk about the episode, and then we dive into the deeper meanings and the lessons that you can learn from Ash and his friends every week.
But before we learn more about Pokemon and talk about our favorite characters,
I can't wait.
there is something about Miss Veronica and Miss Rena that I want to discuss. Like we said before, just like me and Asher, Veronica is Rena's mom. And just like how Asher and I work on this podcast together, they work on it together too. They get to travel the world together, attend lots of different conferences and events to promote what they do. I think it's so great when families can work on fun projects and jobs together.
Yeah, I like doing this with my mom. I do soccer and other things with my dad, but this podcast is me and my mom. And my sister sometimes in other episodes. Yes!
Could you tell us what the experience has been like?
My mom and I have always done stuff together, so it's always been a part of my life. I went to work with her. She went on field trips with me. We've always done a lot of things. I think always been a bit of a collaborative environment in my entire family, but especially with me and my mom. So I think working together on a podcast has just been kind of a natural progression of things.
It's been really great. And also, I think that it's important to say that nothing is easy. No partnership is easy. Look at Ash and Pikachu. They constantly are working to compromise, and families compromise.
Compromise?
Yep, compromise is finding a fair solution where everyone gives up a little bit of what they want to come up with an agreement.
That can be hard because you do have to sort of give up something. Like when Arden and I take turns sharing, so I don't have it all the time.
Yeah, sometimes compromising can be quite tough. But when you compromise, you get creative, understand people better, and it's a great way to respect the people that you're working with.
I think it's really important that you talk and listen. That's the key to acting. That's the key to being a good human, is the talking and listening. And you have to be open enough, loving enough to say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Or I'm upset right now, I just need a minute. This has nothing to do with you. Or all of those things that all of us go through in our families. Nothing is easy, but it's worth the work.
We find lots of ways to laugh, and I think, when you have a disagreement or an argument, we can find a way to kind of laugh after that. So
Miss Veronica not only played Ash Ketchum, but she also did voiceover work for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Sailor Moon, and many more shows.
It must be so fun and exciting to hear your voice on TV and make different voices.
We would also love to hear about how you became a voiceover artist.
I decided when I was 5, I was in a play, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I was playing Goldilocks, and I decided mid-show that I wanted to be an actor. I used to do recordings with my tape recorder in my room, and I would interview myself in different character voices. I love to create images in my mind and try to bring them to life. I think cartoons, audiobooks, podcasts, it's such a creative way to listen and let your imagination fill in the blanks.
But how did you become the voice of Ash Ketchum, the coolest character in the world?
How did I get on Pokémon or any of the cartoons I'm on now? I just auditioned. I was in the right place at the right time. I would say, just like Ash, you want to get all the training you can. I took acting classes, dance classes. I played soccer. I went to college and grad school for acting. I toured the country with different acting companies. And you really have to just follow your dreams, really, and just do it. So I've been able to be an actor. I've been able to be in voiceover for a long time now.
That is a very good point. We always try to remind each other in our family that when you want to be good at something, you have to work really hard at your craft. It is not always going to be fun, but in the end, like Miss Veronica, you could land a role that you love.
Yeah, that's why I practice basketball or soccer almost every day. And I work on this podcast every week. Excellent. Miss Rena, Mommy says you are a very talented artist and painter and podcaster. Do you do voiceover work too?
So I also, when I was about 4 years old, I voiced Sentret.
Sentret. Oh, Sentret is a cute Pokemon with a long fluffy tail. That helps it balance.
Yes, it stands on its hind legs to survey its surroundings and can emit a high-pitched cry to alert others of danger.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so cute.
So my mom and I actually both voiced Sentret, which is kind of fun. So she held me up to the mic and I did Sentret. And then my mom did it. From my understanding, they melded our voices together. So in some Sentret, it's my voice, some it's my mom's, and some it's both of ours blended together.
I love it. That's so cool. I wish I could be a Pokemon voice.
You never know, maybe one day. So I have to ask, why do you think Ash Ketchum is so popular? For our listeners that are not familiar with Pokemon, Ash Ketchum is the main character in Pokemon, a young trainer who travels the world with his Pokemon friends.
Trying to become the best Pokemon trainer ever! Ta-da!
I think that many people identify with Ash because he's the character that we can all relate to and kind of be on the Pokemon journey through him. He is the one who has to face so many challenges to help others to grow. He has the most growth. Through him, we can experience joy, sorrow, loss, championships, all of those things that we have in our real life, we can see through his journey.
Yeah, and he reminds us to stay curious because he's always asking questions. He's always learning. He starts his journey with really no idea of what he's doing, but he wants to be a Pokemon master, and so he goes out and just decides to do it.
That's why I love Ash too. Also, he's like me. He has black hair, big eyes, and our names are very similar, and we both like Pokemon. Maybe I should have everybody call me Ash.
It's up to you. One of the reasons we like Pokemon in our family is that it highlights the importance of having great friends that support you and help you to be the very best.
Oh yeah, the Pokemon song says that. I'm gonna be the very best.
Okay, so now on to Asher's favorite part. Let's talk about our favorite Pokemon characters.
Miss Rena, can you go first?
Okay, I have thought a lot about this actually. And I used to always say Charizard because I want to fly around on it. And I always live in cities where there's a lot of traffic and I'm always running late. So I think having something that I could fly around on would really help me out.
Charizard is a fire and flying type Pokemon, and it is a big lizard that can fly and breathe out flames. Its super strong attack is Flamethrower.
Wow.
Where it shoots out a huge wave of fire.
So Charizard is the last stage in the evolution line that begins with Charmander. And evolving in Pokemon is when a Pokemon changes into a stronger and sometimes different form as it gains experience and levels up.
And also Charizard is really grumpy.
Okay.
Yeah, but I also kind of leaning towards a Bulbasaur because it could use Vine Whip to grab things that are too high on shelves for me.
Oh, I could use a Bulbasaur at home. You guys can't see me since this is a podcast, but I'm not that tall, so I'm always using step stools around the house.
But that's not the only thing Bulbasaurs do. It's a small dinosaur-like Pokemon, and it has a bulb on its back. It gets sunlight through the back for energy. And during battles, it can use moves like Vine Whip and Razor Leaf.
And Asher, can you share what it evolves to?
Bulbasaur can evolve into Ivysaur and Venusaur as it grows stronger. Miss Veronica, what's your favorite Pokemon?
I am going to go with Pikachu.
One of my favorites, too. Pika.
Pikachu is awesome. I think the relationship between Ash and Pikachu makes Pokemon really amazing. That's what makes us watch it.
Pikachu is an iconic electric-type Pokemon known for its yellow fur, lightning bolt-shaped tail, and a cute demeanor.
It can make electricity and is really fast. I like Ash's Pikachu because it's a legendary Pokemon.
Pikachu is a great companion. Pikachu stands up for Ash, is very loyal, so I think that Pikachu's a good choice.
But I also would kind of like a Mr. Mime to do the housework.
Mr. Mime can make invisible walls or objects with his hands. It's playful and often seen performing to entertain others. But as Miss Veronica mentioned, in some instances, Mr. Mime has been seen performing tasks like cooking or cleaning.
Amazing.
Mr. Mime kind of looks like a person. White and pink colors.
It doesn't talk back. It would always do your chores. And you could leave and you wouldn't know if it was upset.
But yeah, Mr. Mime, we all need a Mr. Mime, I think.
This one may be my favorite Pokemon as well. Maybe after Pikachu. And to our listeners, what's your favorite Pokemon? Ask your grown-ups to write us at hello@culturekidsmedia.com and share your thoughts with us. So in the Pokemon series, there are many different locations where trainers can explore and find different kinds of Pokemon. These locations can be forests, mountains, cities, and even caves. Each place has its own unique environment, which affects the type of Pokemon you can find there. So let's say you want to catch water-type Pokemon, you might look near rivers or oceans, while grass types are often found in forests.
Different locations offer different adventures and challenges for trainers to overcome.
Could you both share with us which region you'd like to visit someday?
Let's go!
Oh, I would totally go to the Orange Islands.
Oh yeah, the Orange Islands is a special group of islands in the Pokemon world below Kanto with lots of different types of Pokemon.
Could you tell us why you'd like to go there and what's so special about it?
I loved the colors. I loved how simple it was. I loved them just walking around everywhere. I bet it smells really good there too.
The Orange Islands have beautiful warm weather, unlike the cooler places nearby like Kanto.
Because it's sunny and tropical there, the Pokemons are often brighter and more colorful.
It's magical.
So Miss Veronica, which Pokemon would you like to meet in person?
I think you would want to see Ho-Oh. Because you love birds.
Ho-Oh is a majestic rainbow-colored bird Pokemon that symbolizes hope and happiness.
Oh, it's mostly orange and it's a legendary Pokemon, I think.
Yes, in the very big, but that was in Pallet Town, which is still in the Orange Islands. And in the first episode, Ash saw Ho-Oh flying over. And it was so magical and sparkly. And yes, I'm a very big bird watcher, so Ho-Oh.
Miss Rena, is there any Pokemon you don't want to see?
I would never want to see a Mankey. That Mankey is a pig monkey Pokemon. And if you make it angry, it will never stop. And then it evolves into Primeape, which if you make eye contact with it, it will chase you forever. That's what we learned. I don't want to see, literally, I don't want to see them.
Mankey's an angry Pokemon.
So fun fact, Mankey's design is based on a monkey, particularly the Japanese macaque. Its appearance, with its fur, long tail, and facial features, resembles that of a real-life primate.
Whoa. That definitely makes sense, but you could just catch it, right?
And lastly, Miss Veronica and Miss Rena, is there a message you'd like to share with our listeners about the values Pokémon teaches their fans?
I think it states in the theme song in the first season, I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. And I think the most important thing for all of us is to strive to be our best, but no one can achieve that on their own. So you start at home with your family. You help each other to be your best. By pulling everyone along, we all rise.
Yeah, you have to, I think you can't, just like you were saying, you can't do it alone. And you have to, it's all about your community. So you make friends at school and you are interested in what they're doing and you help them achieve their goals and their dreams, and they will help you achieve yours. And I think it's all about lifting each other up and being positive and encouraging to your friends and your family and to yourself.
We love that. I think it's so important that we spend time creating a community of friends around us, whether it's our neighbors, friends at school, or just people we meet. And we always say in our Culture Kids community that even though a friend may look different or speak in a different language, we can always find ways to be friends and play together because it's our differences that helps us grow and learn new things.
Yeah, and Pokemon is loved by a lot of people. Like there's Korean Pokemon cards, French Pokemon cards, Italian Pokemon cards. It's global.
And I love how in Pokemon, their trainers are always looking to get better at their skills and help each other, even when it's their rivals. So Asher, it's like when you're playing soccer against another team by cheering on the opposite team when they score or helping them get up if they fall down. It's kind of like what the Pokemon trainers do. Because it's never fun just getting better all by yourself.
Yeah, I can see that. So you can celebrate and party together. More the merrier.
Exactly. And is there anything Ash Ketchum himself would like to share?
I just have to say, recently I became a master, and that's not the end. It's just another new beginning, because you may feel like you've learned everything in the world. Like you finish first grade and you're like, I'm the top. But really, then you go on to second grade, and then you start again and you learn more, and then on you go. And even when you're 99, you're still learning something new every single day. So keep at it, and you can be the very best, because you know what? I choose you!
Thanks, Ash. And thank you, Miss Veronica and Miss Rena. Before you go, is there anything you'd like to share with our grown-ups?
So this is just for the grown-ups, which you can share with all the kids.
You can find us all over the place. So our podcast is called The Trainer's Guide Podcast, and you can find us on all streaming platforms.
We're on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok
At Trainer's Guide Pod.
So you can also find us. I'm at the Veronica T.
And I'm at Rena Rocks with 4 S's.
We're also Taylorama Fun on TikTok. So anyway, we are at Comic-Cons around the world too. So if you can, stop by and see us in person. But otherwise, we'll just see you on the road.
It was so much fun having you guys here.
Asher, thank you for having us.
And thank you, Kristen. This has been so fun.
Bye-bye, Miss Veronica and Miss Rena. And bye-bye, Ash.
I guess I'll see you guys later on. Bye-bye. Bye. Come on, Pikachu, let's get out of here.
Okay, can I go first?
Yes.
What do you call someone who likes to chew gum while climbing a mountain?
What?
A Pikachuer.
I get it. Peak, like the mountain peak, and chew, Pikachuer, like chewing gum. Pikachu!
Exactly. Okay, your turn.
How do you get Pikachu on a bus?
How?
Pokemon! Get it? Poke him on? Pokemon?
Oh, like poke him into the bus?
Yeah,
But Pokemon?
yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for joining us today, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss another episode. We have lots of big interviews coming up with different cultural organizations from all over the world. And please tell everyone you love about Culture Kids. Many of you already know that we function without a marketing budget, so this is what keeps us going. And as always, here at Culture Kids, you and your family are always welcomed, included, and celebrated for exactly who you are. Until next week.